Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Vivian Esti Guzman. I am a human MRI and the #1 money magnet activator. So today in our show, welcome back, My Spiritual GPS, wherein we meet you where you are because we know that you are either looking for your soul purpose or you've already found your soul purpose and it has found you. And then there's some in between, sometimes some baggages and some things that maybe we have difficulty trying to figure out really how to get to the end result, right? To our destination. So today we are going to talk about how to reveal your inner healer. So we have invited a very special guest today, and her name is Dr. Andrea Greiner. Hi, Dr. Andrea, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good, good. So I wanted to introduce you to the audience. So Dr. Andrea Greiner is a naturopathic doctor. You're also an acupuncturist and the creator of Ray of Light Meridian Therapy. Ooh, that sounds very interesting. And you now train healers and leaders in this powerful energy form to help them regain their innate healing abilities to gain more impact, influence, and prosperity, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes,
So
I do.
welcome.
Thank you. So grateful to be here.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit of this inner healer. Like, do we really have the capacity to heal ourselves?
Yes. So this is a really big question that as I began my healing journey I realized and also saw a lot of patients that people don't believe in their ability to heal and that they're kind of trained to look for an outside source, whether it's a medication or a supplement or, all these exterior things. And really, when we can come inward, and you know this so well, this is like your language, when we come inward is really where we get to learn how to heal ourselves, trust our bodies, regain the confidence that our body does know how to heal. And so I also talk a lot about that we had this belief when we were children, that we knew how to do that when we were kids, and we slowly lose it. And so my job is really to help people remember this.
Remember. Yeah, that's a huge word, right? Because you know how when a kid falls down, they usually cry, right? The expression of that emotion. But then they get up and as if nothing happened. And you're thinking, what happened? I thought they were hurt. But some kids, they prolong that emotional release, right? And so does that have anything to do, by the way, with our capacity to heal, or everybody just has a different way of processing emotions?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's probably we all process our emotions a little bit differently. And then also that how we're raised. So if I celebrate my daughter's ability to heal. And we just notice each day how her wounds get better. And so I think we process how we hurt ourselves differently. Some people, their parents might say, hey, just get over it. Get up and dust it off and keep going,
Yeah.
So,
but some people, they probably don't perceive that well, right? So it just depends also on our reaction as a child. Because a child may need a hug, right? Just a hug. And then they're off and playing again. But some kids may need that stern, like, just get up and go. Like, it's nothing. It's no big deal. And I've heard that the child's reaction is always dependent on whoever saw the incident, or, if it's the mother or the father, if they make a big deal out of it or not.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you'll see a kid. I have two little kiddos right now. So, one will fall and they'll sort of like look around to see who was there. But if nobody's there and they know nobody's there, they'll just keep on going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's a lot of training too, right? Like, do you have somebody who's going to give you the attention, or do you have to soothe yourself and give yourself attention and then go, okay, I'm good now. I can move on.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So now I go to an acupuncturist myself, and I was so devastated when, the COVID lockdown and I couldn't go, right? So there's somehow a transitional point for you, because I think you had a practice before, right?
I
You
did.
had a clinic where
Yeah.
you go and you insert needles along these beautiful points and meridians. So, what happened there? Share with us a little bit of the story of what made you transition from a clinic, like a physical clinic, and then now you created a different modality, so to speak, based on your knowledge and experience. Because I'm sure there's lots of doctors out there that maybe they're feeling confined, they don't know what to do, and perhaps you can inspire them on how you did that and what.
Yeah. Well, exactly like what you said, you have an acupuncturist, and then COVID hit and people weren't, acupuncturists were shut down for a certain amount of time. And so my clinic, I did not provide primary care. That really, I kind of moved away from that. And so I closed my clinic down, and I just knew I needed to pivot online. And had a mentor say, "Oh, you're supposed to do energy acupuncture."
Yes.
And so I had secretly been doing energy acupuncture. I hadn't told a single soul, I was just practicing. It just kind of was coming in at the same time. And once this mentor had said that, and then I just jumped into it. And because I had thought really that first week of COVID, I said, how could I be of the most service? There's all these acupuncturists, there's all these people not getting acupuncture that's helping them typically stay grounded and, help move through their pain and discomfort. And so as I was getting these, we call them spiritual kind of downloads of this form, once I just stepped into this idea of group healing and being able to access our meridian systems from anywhere, it just came in, and it said, this is the form. I know it was pretty remarkable. And so then I knew I just wanted to help. At first, it was going to just be acupuncturists. And can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I realized this form could really be for all types of healers.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, because you've seen a lot of clients, patients, in the healthcare profession, we call them patients, right? For some coaching people, it's clients. Have you seen a specific root cause of a dis-ease based on all of your clinical experience and your knowledge, basically? Like, what is the root cause? Yeah.
Well, interestingly, through naturopathic school, we always talked about the root cause of disease, and that was typically, you were always looking for it. And whether it was a vitamin deficiency or, often it would be still on this physical realm.
Yes.
And the more I worked with clients and patients in clinics, I realized really that it was deeper than that, and that the root cause of what I now say dis-ease, like, because that's ultimately the cause of our labels that we say disease, is how the energetics around either specific traumas that then have built up and built up and built up. And it's so the energy flow itself, which is very Chinese medicine in that sense of stagnation, blockages. But so really, in my opinion, after working with this, is that the root cause of disease is the energetics. That it's healed underlying energy, which as well. Yeah, like you're also very attuned. Being a human MRI, you find the blockages your way, and the ray of light is a way to clear blockages, almost in a general way, and then empower people to access their own meridian systems, so that they can say, okay, I'm going to access these points for more grounding, or I'm going to access a heart point for kind of opening the heart, or a point to open the third eye. So
do people need to know the meridian system, right? The meridian system is like a pathway. It's like a freeway that's congested. So, so when you're driving up the 405 or whatever freeway you're on, and then you're like, oh my God, I got to get to work. But then it's congested. So you really can't get there unless you have a motorcycle or there's a different way of getting there, right? So can you share with us a little bit of this ray of light meridian therapy? Because you're saying energy acupuncture. So just for our viewers, can you please share with them what is energy acupuncture? Because they know acupuncture means you insert the needles on certain points. And again, do they have to know the meridians? What are those?
Exactly. So I love how you use that example of a traffic, because that really is what happens. So you could have an emotional trauma that blocks your meridian systems because we're multidimensional. So I love that example because it really is stagnation in our system. So what I created that first week of COVID was what's called now Ray of Light Meridian Therapy. I named it this way so that all healers could learn it, and we're not really labeling it energy acupuncture, because only an acupuncturist could say, really, I'm doing energy acupuncture. So Ray of Light Meridian Therapy is a way to combine guided meditation using different lights therapy to kind of clear the system through the meditation, and then using energy needles to access specific points in the meridian systems. And I created this as a way to have group healing. I also have individual healing. And so in a group, we're doing just a few points, really the 4 points that I talk about, people could then use on their own. And
so is it okay you give us a sample or an example of, for example, with the COVID, things are happening right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. So I'm sure a lot of clients that come your way have some kind of common denominator, right? Is there a specific meridian that's more obstructed or blocked than others, like kidney, heart? Which one is it?
Well, there's a lot of them right now.
Okay, so which one? Which meridian is blocked?
Yeah, so I talk a lot about the lung meridian. So, we know our lungs are right here, and there's a lung point. So if you go all the way to the shoulder, and I'm just show on one side, you massage about an inch down. It's tender on most people. Like mine is tender. And this is a big grief point. So even by you massaging it, because we're holding, what we forget is that we're holding our own personal grief, just in general, that life is not going to go back to its normal.
Yeah.
Like we're continuing to change. And then what is happening in the world, we also do hold on to that energetics of that. So even I like to use lung 1 as you could just massage that. So there's a lot of grief happening. I use essential oils too. So I love like peppermint over the lungs or something like that to support grief. And then I would say the heart. So we'll just, since we're massaging some points because people can leave feeling more relaxed, is along the chest bone. There's a point that's typically tender on people. Mine's a little bit, mine's okay, but I've been doing a lot of heart healing myself. But there's typically a tender point, and that's usually around like REN 17. And that's the pericardium. That supports the pericardium. So, the pericardium goes around the heart, and it's the protector. So right now we're feeling uncertain. And so our pericardium is kind of squeezing our heart. And so we're feeling, that could be the anxiousness, that could be, so just feeling like we can't leave, or, we're moving through so much. So the heart is really important. And then I would say the liver is also really important. And that's part of my, a point that is in the 4 gates that I use all the time in the Ray of Light. So I wasn't planning on showing the liver point, but I will. So it's on your foot.
Bonus. There. Okay.
It's right here, and it's tender on a lot of people.
Is it on the right or on the left?
Both. It's both. You could do both. So, at least my toes were colored.
Yeah. And it matches your shirt.
It does. That's so funny. I did that once, and someone said, "Is that really your foot?" I said, "Yes, it is. It's my foot. I am flexible." So the liver is really about frustration and anger, and so there's a lot of people feeling frustrated, like they're don't know how to make the right choices, or they don't have any control. And so, and even over the liver area, which I know you know where it is, on the right side, people will really feel even congested there. And so when we're feeling anger and frustration, and then even repressed anger and frustration, because our society doesn't really know how to healthily release anger, then our liver and gallbladder are more affected. So those are, I would say those are 3 big areas.
Okay. Perfect. Wow, that's interesting. So is there a proper way, like, am I supposed to massage it clockwise or counterclockwise, or does it matter?
I always think that what your intention and attention is what matters the most.
Got
so more of I'm activating my lung channel to release my grief is more important than the direction. Other people would probably argue specifics. I like to keep things really simple. That if your attention and intention is to support your grief and relieve some of that pressure. And so think about also the virus affects the lungs. And so just by us supporting our lungs does help everybody else support their lungs too, in that kind of spreading the consciousness.
So is it safe to say, basically, if we have a tender point, and then when we massage it and it's a bit tender, then that means there's something going on there, maybe unconscious or subconscious, we don't know what's going on, but somehow it needs some kind of attention, because otherwise it won't give us a signal saying, oh, I'm hurting or I'm tender, right? So our intention is to release easily and effortlessly, instead of, like you said, going to an external way of satisfying or releasing this pain. You can do it yourself to facilitate that inner healing within you.
Yes, very, very, perfect. And how we can kind of start to take, not control. I don't like the word control, but how we can feel empowered in our own healing, and that we have control and we can embody that.
Great. So how do you support each client, like, in their healing journey? So I don't know, did it change so much after you closed down your clinic and now you're doing this Ray of Light Meridian therapy? Was there a change? Do you do groups? You mentioned you do groups, and at the same time you also do private sessions?
Yes. So in the group, I love this form, which I didn't when I was first learning acupuncture, because you learn a group, but you're like running around, and I didn't feel like I really got to connect with people. And that's kind of how acupuncture businesses are set up to really be prosperous. You have 5 rooms that you're filling, and you're like running around. And to me, that does not feel energetically
stressed out. You're relaxing them, but you're stressed out.
I'm like,
rooms.
And I don't feel grounded because I like to be with people and really be with their energy and how I can support them the most. So, but in a group form where you're guiding meditation. So let's see, right here, we have 2 of us, but let's say then we were in a Zoom session, and the biggest I like is 10. So there's 10 of us. And then what I'm doing is I'm using words to help each person do the form on themselves, but I'm holding the space. And I'm kind of checking in with each person to see energetically, much like you do in your own ways, tuning into where are they still blocked? What words could I use to help them deepen, or do they look uncomfortable, so I can remind them to lay back? But really, it is this in the group form, it's holding the space for each person to learn it, or to be doing it in the meditation with themselves. And then also, what I like about a group is that I like people to just say where their areas of discomfort are, instead of giving all the diagnoses that they may have been given before. So we take the stories out, and we just say, where are you? Like, you could say, I'm feeling some tightness in my chest that feels more emotional, and I have some neck pain. And instead of going into the story of, I have arthritis and I've had we go into this whole thing that we are so identified with. So just saying, I have some neck discomfort or knee discomfort. And when we share in front of a group of 10 people, that brings more healing power into the group, because then there's 10 people's energy thinking about Vivian and help, and like almost envisioning your health and healing. So
Mm.
that really is the power of group healing that I love. And like, you almost don't know what magic is going to unfold in each session, because
Yes.
each one is different people. So that is the group healing sense. And then on a one-to-one sense, I get to, it's almost more of like a, like similar, you know, I know it's not exactly like what you do, but where you're really tuning into one person's energy and like kind of finding where their blockages are, and you're getting, you know, the spirit kind of guidance of what, it's almost inexplainable, like,
Yeah.
because then what comes out is like, oh, well, you just need to da 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 da, and you're like, wow, that was, you know, I'm tuning into their energy much more because it's a one-to-one, and then I'm giving almost like an energy toolkit to clear the blockages and help them either be more aligned in their business or more aligned in their health. I do both. So health, you know, some people are really coming for the health clearing, and then other people are coming for the business clearing and more alignment with that.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to entertain some questions from our live viewers. So between Dr. Andrea and I'm sure we can help you with whatever is healing you, right? And I love what you said about the group healing sessions, because I've also seen that. I was resistant in the beginning to do groups because I wanted to be able to connect with one individual at a time. But like you said, when you create a container for healing, everybody, even if they kind of don't want to be there, or they maybe don't want to heal really, it almost takes them to the point of, well, everybody here would be healing, so then you're going to be left out if you don't heal. So the container allows for the theme of what goes on in the group.
It's so true.
It is. And at first I didn't see the value of that. And then of course you have to do something different because of all these COVID pandemic lockdown issues, right? So we have to pivot. We have to change the way we do things, because if we don't change, well, the whole world is changing. So, you know, we're waiting for you, all of you.
I know, exactly. Well, and I love what you said about that too, because that was the reason I kept going, was that I held these group healing sessions, and every single person came back saying that they noticed a change. I was like not expecting that. I just jumped in, like, you know, building the plane as it's flying. Yes. And people that even said, I came in really hesitant and I left and my legs were more comfortable. Or, you know, they weren't totally pain-free, but they were, or some were pain-free, and they were so surprised. And so that was my sign that was like, check, okay, got to keep going, because people that get
progress.
So much. Yeah.
And for some people, they don't really heal like immediately, maybe because they don't want to, but very unconscious. Or there are people attached to them, like relatives and other people, that may not want them fully healed because they won't recognize the person anymore. But the person also has a participation there, right? It's not a one-way street. There's always an allowing of what's happening. And so the progress attained in a group so far, like I said, I've run groups since 2018. It's fascinating. Like, that's how my 90-day success was born. It's like, oh, well, I wonder, 90 days? I think 90 days, it'll be good. And it is true. It does work. Every single group that has gone through the group just becomes successful one way or another. It could be in their money, health, or relationship issues, or their own self-care relationship, right, with themselves. So Amy, I'm going to have our moderator bring in some questions. Hi, Amy. Are there any questions from our guests?
Yes, hello, Vivian.
Viewers.
Yes. So Lauren is asking, just hi there. I have blockages, like in the second chakra or liver, adrenal fatigue. Could you walk me through how you would provide healing virtually?
Yeah. So in the Ray of Light form, I love how you said that too, that you have blockages in those, so that you're not like, I have adrenal fatigue. So first of all, good job, because part of it's unattaching that you have something. So then what I do like to do, the Ray of Light really comes in 3 different ways. So we do an energetic clearing using a honey color. And then we do an expansive color that's dark blue and kind of like, it's almost like the starlight, where we remember how expansive we are. And we go into each organ. And then we do a higher self merging, which is like, in my opinion, like the health, bringing our healthiest version in. So you could take your healthiest self version of you and bring that into your body and go into the adrenals. Like I even like people, Vivian would love this, because I also want to like dig into Vivian, what she does, because it's so interesting. But like learn about the adrenals, learn about the kidneys, and imagine this almost pure love light flowing into those different blockages. And then also I think of the kidneys has fear. So kidneys' main emotion is fear. So really clearing, connecting. You might journal. People kind of can connect in with their bodies in a couple different ways. So you could journal. And then I do like to do a little bit of research, so you know what the adrenals look like, and you're really bringing in that support into those. And you get to you can consciously choose that you're ready to heal and upgrade those organs.
Awesome. And I wanted to contribute to that. So for Lauren, right? So a lot of my clients and my the viewers that are here, I've worked with them. So when we are actually in a state like, you know, how busy it is for most people, because some people have actually doubled down on their hours of work, but then their pay is less. If that causes stress, then we have to neutralize that feeling in a way, like really feel what's bothering you about it, right? Because there's levels of fear, obviously, and there's levels of stress. So if you can identify your stress level, like from 0 to 10, where are you right now? And then with Dr. Andrea's technique, you can actually bring in the cleansing and allow the number to start going down. Like just really feel like number yourself and go, okay, where am I at? Am I at number 8 right now? So then you gotta bring it down 3 notches, 4 notches. And then throughout the day, just keep on working on it to see if you can think of like a blue light, like you said, like a waterfall coming down through your back and just calming down even your Kundalini, because the Kundalini is like, I gotta do something, I gotta do something, I gotta do something now. Like, not right now. Why don't you like calm down? Because we all have a to-do list, but if we can calm down our system, somehow it'll magically appear. It's kind of like a priority board in front of us and go, oh, I really don't have to finish all that. I just have to do this, this, and this. So I'm giving myself like, I have 3 things to do for the day, and that's all I have to deal with. And the rest is bonus if ever I finish it. So that's my take on that.
I love
all
that.
right. Thank you. Amy, anything else?
Yeah, Vienna, she's saying that I have ongoing recurring discomfort with my left upper ribs. She's curious how to help it resolve. And she also has done several natural supports for thyroid and throat chakra and still feeling some restriction there.
Great. So left upper ribs, I would say it depends on if it's on the front and the back, because it's going to kind of matter what's there. Because if it's on the front, I would definitely think lungs, and on the left side, but also heart. So there could be some, and Vivian and I will tag team this because I know she's tuned in too. So lung or heart. So clearing, like checking in, is there any grief that's unresolved? We're all moving through so much grief right now. Like my best friend checks in and she's like, oh my God, I thought I was done. And we really are moving through it. And then the heart too. So are you feeling closed off in your heart? Are you feeling like it's scary to be vulnerable and open? That really, really helps. And then with the throat chakra, and thyroid, similar to the kidneys, like really tuning in first to like what Vivian had said, like where the thyroid does so much metabolism, it takes on a lot of radioactive stuff, but we can heal it, we can nourish it, we can bring all those different colors and the color of blue into it. So like I wear blue a lot because of my throat chakra to just support it. You could wear like just energetically a blue scarf when it gets colder. And same thing, recognizing, is the discomfort because you're not speaking your truth or you're not clearly and effectively communicating, or is it another layer, like metabolize, of like almost that overworking, similar to the adrenals in a sense.
Yeah. And thank you for that. Yeah, go ahead.
Vienna's saying it's both mostly in her back, and she's definitely grieving.
Wow, a lot of grieving, right? And even for me, I have seen a lot of, you know how as we grow and expand, certain relationships, almost like you're pruning a tree and they fall off. That's how I think about it, right? Pruning, because that's how growth happens, is if you don't really cut off certain dead branches, it's kind of tough to grow any further. You just have to have that good foundation. And so I know a lot of us, because of this COVID, we are faced now with decisions differently than before. And I've mentioned this to a lot of even my clients and our group sessions. In the past, we could tolerate something, even if, you know, your body's screaming, saying, I really don't want to do this anymore, right, Dr. Andrea? Think about your last few months in the clinic. You're almost feeling like, am I supposed to be doing this? Because I don't feel as good when I go to the office. And I had that similar experience before I closed my physical therapy practice. It just feels like you're dragging yourself out of bed and you're not excited. But then I'm thinking, then you have to correct your mindset and go, well, I'm here for these patients and I opened this clinic, so I better be here. So there's a lot of like self-talk therapy, but inside I think my soul was screaming, saying, you got to change now. So in the past, I can tolerate and like stay a little longer and just hang on to whatever relationships there was, whether it's working or not working. But this time after COVID, it's like, if you don't do what's in integrity to your own soul, it's almost like a truck would hit you in the face and go, what are you thinking? Are you really going to do that? Like now, not tomorrow, today. And it's so interesting how the transition, like these fast changes. I thought it was just me because I like fast, but I don't think so, because everybody else I talk to say, well, no, you just have to be true to yourself, to your higher self, and be in integrity with that, because that's how you align with that purpose. Ah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. So thank you, Vienna, for that. Anyone else that have any questions or comments?
Well, Vienna just commented. She says, I love Wear Blue for throat chakra. Thank you for all the ideas. And how do we join your group sessions?
Oh, yes. So I have a website, and I typically have group sessions on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And on my website, you'll go to services and then groups, and that will be one way to do that.
Awesome.
And I think we're going to wheel the website across at some point. So,
and we are going to share with them, because you're going to give them a free gift, right?
Yes.
So share with them this free gift.
Yeah. So I created kind of a 3-step process to heal your money story, because I also have a certification program and I love it. And some people had some money restrictions, and I said, well, great. Work on this for 30 days, really do the meditation where you're actually changing your DNA to heal that money part. And then you're also finding your money frequency. And when you're not in your money frequency, you know you're out of alignment. And so it's just downloadable right from the website. And it's the first thing you see on my website. It says heal your money stories. And so it's super fun. I mean, I never thought I would use meditation so much, but I use it all the time to heal, to connect, to really unlock all of our abilities.
Awesome. And her website is drandreagreiner.org. And that's how you can find her and all of her other programs. So Dr. Andrea, thank you so much.
Yes.
One more last run. Amy, do we have any more comments or questions?
I'm not seeing anything coming through at the moment.
Awesome. Okay. Any questions for us, Dr. Andrea? I hope you enjoyed this show.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this was fun. I love it.
Very interactive. And every single week we bring on different guests, different holistic healers, I call it, or alternative medical practitioners even, because I know that people always want to get to their soul purpose, right? But I always tell people, Well, your soul purpose will find it when you're ready. So when you're ready, and after you've worked on different areas in your life, right? It could be money, health, or relationship. They are interconnected and interrelated, whether you like it or not. They just are.
They really are.
I wish I could say differently, but I noticed that they are interconnected. So somebody can come to us for a health issue, right? Like she's an acupuncturist, I'm a physical therapist and a human MRI and a money magnet activator. So depending on what angle you come in, somehow we always have something for you. And so we want to thank the viewers for interacting with us and really asking questions, because this is what makes the show really pop out there, and then share it with other people, because every Tuesday we're here and we're always inviting beautiful guests that have special talents and skills that'll help the community. So thank you, Dr. Andrea, for gracing our show.
Oh, yeah.